Hey, this is Danielle over at DIYDanielle.com. Today I'm working on a patchwork gym bag and I wanted to show you where I'm at. I have a bunch of upcycled fabric pieces from jeans. I have some, I think it's considered for binding or quilting or something, some little strips that are from that, and I have some scrap fabrics that I had from other projects. And I have a zipper that I upcycled from my son's backpack, and his backpack had worn through like the fabric had, but the zipper was still in good condition. So I wanted to save it and use it for a project. So what I've done is I cut open a paper bag, and I'm using that as a little bit of a template for this bag. This top half is going to need to be face up, and then this is I reversed because it will be on the other side. So of course, I hope that makes sense. That'll probably make sense once you see it. But I am just going to go and sew some of these pieces together. But I think I'm going to work across. So I'll sew these two pieces together. Then I'll sew these three pieces together: the blue, the flowers, and the blue. And then I'll sew these pieces together. Then I'll sew them to that. Once I'm done with that, I'll sew them to this strip. Then I'll sew this big chunk to this. Sew this chunk to this chunk. All of this to this. Sew these two together. Then sew this onto this. And then sew that on and that. I hope that makes sense. Here it is all sewn together. Okay, seeing this was a loose end of the zipper that I just cut off, I just added a little tab at the end. I'm going to snip off here and here, and then I can add the zipper to a feather down here. I am not doing a liner for this. I'm hoping I don't look like that. But I think the fabric's thick enough that I can just make that hold up the bag. Okay, the next thing I did was sew the zipper right sides together with one side of the fabric, and now I'm going to turn and top stitch. I would iron this, except for I think it would melt this stuff, so I'm not going to touch that. I probably could work around it, but I'm not going to bother. So I'm just going to top stitch this using my zipper foot, of course. Hey, so the next thing I did was just top stitch the zipper on, and now I have to do it so this side is also attached to the zipper. So I'm going to sew it right sides together, and then I have to kind of flip it through to top stitch. Okay, so for the last part, and actually I top stitched over this, and as you can see, this is the zipper. I didn't seam rip the zipper off the original piece of fabric. The fabric around the zipper area was still good, so it actually worked out pretty well because I didn't need to really use my zipper foot, which if you hate putting on zippers, it's a great way to start learning, or to use them without kind of with cheating involved. Okay, so here it is right sides together. I'm just going to go up and straight stitch here and straight stitch here. So as you can see, I finished up this side and I did a straight stitch, and then I serged the bottom portion. I didn't serge over the zipper. My serger might not be able to handle that. It might be able to, but I don't want to take a risk. So the next thing I'm going to do is sew up this side. Now, the one thing you want to make sure you do is you want to open your zipper so you have somewhere to pull it through. Are you stealing that? That's mine! That's mine! I gave you a piece of fabric to play with. I silly. So yes, we're just going to finish up this side. Okay, so here it is finished up, and actually you could keep it like this, but I am going to fix the corners so it's got a little bit of a boxy bottom, and I'm going to show you really quickly how I do that. Okay, for a boxy bottom, you go ahead and look at your sides. This may be a little confusing to look at, seeing it's patchwork, but you're pretty much squeezing here. So you squeeze here, and you can sew right across here, and it's sort of like a little triangle. And depending on how big of a triangle you cut, you have a different size bottom of your bag. So you're going to do that to each side. What I do is I do my pinch and try to get this organized here. Hold on, let me. Okay, as you can see, I've pinched my corner and I'm just going to sew across here, and I'm going to save this piece and use it as a template to figure out where the triangle on the other side needs to be as well. That way they're even. Okay, so as you can see, I have my triangle and I am just going to match that on the other side and make sure that both triangles are the same size. Okay, so as you can see, now it's got nice boxy corners. The only thing we have left is we need to add a strap. Because, of course, it's nice to be able to carry things or carry it over your shoulder. So I am going to get started on that part. Okay, so I'm making the strap, and I used one strip of that quilting stuff that I had, and then I sewed some pieces of leftover jean fabric together so that I can make one long strip. So I have jean on one side and I have this cotton fabric on the other. I left one side open and I'm going to pull it all the way through, press it, and then top stitch. Okay, so I top stitched it here and now I just have to sew it right onto my back. Okay, I opened my zipper and I'm just laying this on the side fairly low below the zipper, and I'm going to sew it into a cross. Or not a cross, yeah, an X. Okay, and here is the cross that or the X that I sewed on. And I, of course, sewed it around like this.